Hey Dream Drivers, welcome to episode 401 of the Dreams and Drive podcast. I am super pumped for y'all to hear this week's episode, but first, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Staying hydrated should be one of your biggest priorities. That's why smart water is always on my list. As a busy mom and always on the go, I love how easy it is to hold smart water and how it is just the right accessory for my daily outfits. With days in mind that usually involve a lot of overthinking, smart water provides a refreshing change of pace and allows me not to have to think too much. Plus, the taste is great too. Smart water has this pure, crisp taste with added electrolytes, and I love it. Life's full of choices. Smart water is a simple one. Visit drinksmartwater.com to learn more. Hey Dream Drivers, it's Raina here, and I've got something exciting to share with y'all today. You know we're always on a hunt for that perfect refreshment, and let me tell you, Starry Lemon Lime Soda hits different. There's something about that crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor that just brings the good vibes and great taste every time. And the best part, it's caffeine free, so you can enjoy it anytime, anywhere without the jitters. Whether you're catching up with friends, taking a moment for yourself, or just need a refreshing pick-me-up, a crisp, cold sip of Starry is like a little burst of in every can. It's the perfect companion for all those moments that make life sweet. So what are you waiting for? It's time to see other sodas. Go find Starry now in stores or online and experience that refreshingly crisp taste for yourself. Stay refreshed, stay dreaming, and let's get into this episode. All right, Dream Drivers, welcome to episode 401 of the Dreams and Drive podcast. If this is your first time listening, welcome. Dreams and Drive is all about how you can take your dreams out of neutral and into drive. A lot of us listening in are trying to put some type of dream into motion, and we are stuck in some way. And so hopefully listening to this podcast gives you some encouragement, some inspiration, some kind of desire, again, to get things moving in your life. We have guest episodes, and we also have solo episodes like today's. And I would really, really love for you all to just continue to be part of our community. Make sure you're following us at Dreams and Drive. We are on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the social medias at Dreams and Drive. So make sure you're following us there. And if you want to be connected via email, you can go to dreamsanddrive.com/join. That's dreamsanddrive.com/join. So I've been thinking about doing these smaller episodes that talk about very little micro moments within my life. I think it's important to reflect on where we are and all that we've learned. So I want to share more of these little moments with you. And I want to talk about today one of the most impactful jobs I've ever had in my life. It's not a sexy job, but when I think back about who I am today and all that I learned and kind of how I was set on this trajectory in some ways, I have to think about the first stop along this journey. And it starts when I was in college. I actually in a past episode talked about a job that I had back in high school, actually, where I worked at my local bowling alley as a customer service front desk girl. And that job itself, I learned so much about life from that job. I learned about customer service, coworkers, building relationships, the unfairness of life. I say that because when you see a lot of people come through doors and you just see them trying to interact with you, and not everyone can pay for games, and just how you move in those situations, and just realizing I remember this one guy who used to work with us. He used to work on not Wall Street, but he had this really big cushy job, and he got laid off, and he had a family. And I think this was my first time ever thinking about how life is not always fair. And here he was working as a bartender at a bowling alley when he had this big degree. And it was just something like him telling us, I need to feed my family, so I have to do something. So no job is beneath me. And it's just something I always remembered. You learn about salacious activities. I remember seeing people from my local religious congregation and with secret partners at night. It was just crazy. But also thinking about the honor and loyalty that comes with having a career, building family at work, which is what, you hope that you're able to trust the coworkers around you, and just how people really took me in as a little sister, as a daughter even, and helped me out in a lot of different situations. There was just so much that I learned in that high school job. But I want to talk about and zero in on this period in my life, college, right? Because college is this time where you really, I had these high school lessons going into college, and here I was, a freshman, as part of my financial aid package. I got assigned the job, 4th shift dining hall. And that basically meant that I was responsible for cleanup in the kitchen, in the dining hall. It wasn't the shift that you cleaned up outside in the dining hall, but it was more so the shift that you had to do inside the kitchen and all that stuff, getting all the dishes washed. And I don't know if it was 3rd shift or 4th shift, but it was such a interesting job. We had to make sure that we were getting all the plates that were coming through, utensils, taking out the pig buckets at night. That's all they call pig buckets, like food waste. So you had to empty food into certain buckets, and then whatever the chefs and the cooks didn't use, they were all put in these huge buckets that had to be wheeled out to like the special part of garbage pickup area. And we call them pig buckets because they basically, I think the lore was that they were sent to farms and used as pig food because they were all just food waste. And there were so many different characters that worked with us, like, older juniors and seniors who were responsible for leading the team. So they were kind of like the team captains. There were so many things that were going on and so many dynamics within the job. But the thing that I want to remind you guys, you may not know this about me, but listen, I did not like washing dishes. I don't know whoever did. And although I was never afraid to tell people that, hey, I was on financial aid, washing dishes, that being my job on campus, I was like, oh my God, I can't wait till I get through this year. I need to get rid of this job and move on in life. But little did I know there were so many lessons that I was learning during this time that I think are with me till today. So let's go through things. Leadership. So as part of like being a dining hall worker, you had to sign up for different shifts. You had to report in on time. You had team captains who were making sure that you were at work on time, there for the entirety of your job, doing your duties. And this was my first sense while I was at this prestigious university, right? You kind of think everything's going to be glittering gold, and realizing that there are other people out there who livelihood is not always given to them. Like a lot of other people like me who are on financial aid and had to have these school jobs, you were kind of learning about like grit and how people's approach work ethic and all these important things, right? Hey, dream drivers, if you're like me, you know the struggle of dealing with a wild child who just won't keep their diaper on. That's why I'm excited to share my favorite Pampers Cruisers 360, the ultimate baby-proof diaper for your little explorer. Pampers Cruisers 360 features a 360-degree stretchy waistband instead of the usual tabs. This unique design helps prevent your baby from removing their diaper, which means no more unexpected messes. And trust me, this is a game changer. One of the best parts, Pampers Cruisers 360 offers up to 100% leak-proof protection with a gap-free fit no matter how your baby moves. It's super easy to remove too. Just rip the sides, roll it up with a disposal tape on the back, and you're good to go. Try Pampers Cruisers 360 with the new Pampers Free and Gentle wipes for healthy baby skin. They're made from 100% plant-based cloth that grips the mess, with Free and Gentle mess meets its match. Add Pampers Cruisers 360 and Free and Gentle wipes to your cart or pick them up at your local grocery or big box store. Say goodbye to messes and hello to more fun with Pampers. Remember, for trusted protection, trust Pampers, the #1 pediatrician recommended brand. This is what you do when your love of the sneaker game has you chasing the limited editions, the classics, and the real ones. You go to eBay. There you'll find the one again and again. The latest sneaker drop you can't stop thinking about, one-of-a-kind streetwear you're dying to wear, and fresh collabs you didn't even know you needed. But of course, your appetite goes beyond what's on your feet. On eBay, you'll feast your eyes on a full menu of hard-to-finds. Start with some fresh kicks, then fall in love with a pair of 90s denim or that vintage leather jacket to style them perfectly. Then make a designer collab your main course, the cherry on top, a timeless watch, or an iconic rare handbag, and the jewelry of your dreams, all expertly authenticated. Yeah, eBay. It's the place for new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion. eBay. Things people love. This episode of Dreams and Drive is brought to you by McDonald's. Fashion loves Black style, but Black designers don't always get their shine. That's why McDonald's has partnered with 5 rising Black designers and 5 industry insiders to help change more than clothes. The designers have hit culture's biggest red carpets and runways and connected with fashion industry insiders for ongoing career-changing mentorships, all while building their brands and bringing along fans like you. Plus, there's so much more to come. Want to see what's happening with these designers on the come up? Follow their journey on Instagram at WeAreGolden. Another lesson that I was learning was the power of a team. And I say that because when you first learn your job, you're kind of operating independently. But then when you get into the rhythm of it, everyone's settling into their rhythm, right? Everyone's having this division of duties that is so important. We all couldn't do it alone, but we could do it all together. And when we each were focusing in on our unique strengths and the parts of the job that we enjoyed, and our leadership saw that and said, okay, you stay on utensils, you stay on loading, you stay on unloading. There was there was a magic that happened behind the scenes that I think really, this was the first time I was learning about just the power of what it takes to really get something done. Another thing that I learned was to have a sense of purpose and to find joy in the mundane. And I say that because my father used to tell me all the time, do it right the first time and you don't have to do it again. Or no matter what you're doing your best. And although I did not want to be in the dining hall, I had to work because, everybody wants money. And I didn't like being broke. But having this joy in the mundane and finding a sense of purpose is the thing that you need if you don't know what's going to drive you, right? I always wanted to know that whoever was looking at me from a dining hall perspective, the people who actually were dining hall workers, knowing that they entrusted us students to make sure we left the kitchen in a way that when they came back in the morning, they had everything they needed, right? It was so important for us to do that so that they would be set up for success. And you're just seeing how everything's connected. And when you find your sense of purpose and when you find that joy in the mundane, there's so much that comes from it. Finding your rhythm. I think my job was the one that I kind of took to was loading the dishwasher and just finding your rhythm with whatever you're doing, whether you're wearing headphones, whether you're just focusing in on being able to find your timing, be one with your timing, and to see success from it is super important, because once you're loading the dishes right, and you get this flow going, you start to feel good about what you're doing. And yes, it was just washing dishes, but I tell you guys, there was this pride that was coming from just seeing all that I was able to do inside of a sphere that I really personally did not love. There was also this pride in being part of an undesirable community and making sure I wanted to protect that.
With the $5 meal deal at McDonald's, 5 hits different. 5 gets you a McDouble or a McChicken and a small fry and a small drink and a 4-piece McNuggets. 5 gets you more at McDonald's. Prices and participation may vary. For limited time only. You got 5 on it? With the $5 meal deal at McDonald's, you about to eat. Your choice of a tender, juicy McChicken or a hot, cheesy McDouble sandwich and a crispy 4-piece McNuggets and a small fries and a small drink for just $5.
Money.
Woo. 5 gets you more at McDonald's. Prices and participation may vary. For limited time only.
This week's episode of Dreams and Drive is brought to you by Smart Water. So this summer, I have a lot of goals, and getting out and staying active is number one. But if you want to be active, you got to stay hydrated, and that's where Smart Water comes in. I love how complimentary Smart Water is to my daily routine. It fits right in my baby bag, it's easy to put in the car bottle holder, and just looks good if I'm holding it in my hand or my daily walks with the kids. When it comes to living my life, there's a lot to overthink. What's for lunch? Who's getting the kids? Who do I need to reach out to for interviews? What's for dinner? But at least I don't have to overthink my water. And look, later today, I know I'm going to have to take that little one out for his daily ATV ride and walk around the block. With this pure, crisp taste and added electrolytes, I know that we'll all stay hydrated for our summer excursions, and the taste will be on point too. Smart Water provides a refreshing change of pace, a moment of clarity with a simple choice of hydrating. And at this stage in my life, that is super important. Life's full of choices. Smart water is a simple one. Visit drinksmartwater.com to learn more. Princeton was an elite institution, and when people knew you had to work in the dining hall, number one, they knew you were in financial aid, unless you wanted, I don't think there was people who were working there just to work there. It wasn't the sexiest job, but it required this heart and this patience. And I personally started having so much respect for food service workers. So all the other dining workers who this was their career, where they worked in that dining hall 9 to 5, making sure us students got fed breakfast, lunch, dinner. You start to see why no job should ever be looked down upon, and how everyone's job matters and everyone's job demands respect. And my parents always taught me to respect everybody, but it was just this moment for me where I was starting to see everything come together. And as a college freshman, I often say, I don't remember a lot of the things that I learned in college, but you remember the experiences and you remember the things that you're learning about life. And it's these small lessons that you take with you everywhere and become the foundation for how you approach everything. Because if you can connect with a food service worker, you connect with an executive, you can connect with anybody. And it's all about finding out what drives people and being able to sit and hear the stories of how they ended up at Princeton in the dining hall and all that they were able to experience. You realize that there's nothing beneath anyone. And I really started to have so much pride in this job. You cannot talk down on anybody who worked in the dining hall, who had a food service job or anything to me, because I'm you don't know what it takes to actually do this well. And could you yourself handle all the pressure that a lot of these people were experiencing every night? We had our jobs, I don't remember what time we got off, but it was a good 2 or 3 hour shift, and we had to show up. And what we did was important, because if we wanted to play around and make sure people's utensils weren't clean, in the morning when you were trying to eat your breakfast, there'd be a whole big issue if those utensils weren't clean. So just realizing how it's all related. And when I think about why Dreams and Drive and why I think it's important for me to share this all with you, there's a few things that come to mind. Number one, the experiences you'll have will build your character and they'll build your life resume. So do not think, even if you are not where you want to be, that the experiences that you are experiencing right now, the good, the bad, the ugly, the trying, the trifling, the wilding, the whatever it is, they are building your life resume, and you're learning something that you need to learn. If I was to go to Princeton's dining hall now, I'm telling you, I would know somebody there. I would have an understanding of what's going on. It's an ecosystem that I think food service, the industry, is so important. It's never going to go away. And just understanding what's driving people, what's driving costs. There's just so much that's going on. What's driving waste, which is something I thought was so interesting, just how much people were wasting behind the scenes. I know that it just played this very critical part of me, and it also framed this unique point of view, because the thing, and I'll tell you why, how everything comes full circle, when you create from experience. So I'm saying use the things that are inspiring you as the foundation for what you start creating, because that's the realest thing. And that's the thing that you sometimes will find the biggest success with, is when you're creating from experience and you're not trying to create from a place of make-believe. You're creating from a place of realness. The only A+ I ever received at Princeton was connected to the dining hall. And I'll tell you the story. So in your junior year at Princeton, you have to create or write this independent research paper. And it's called a junior paper. And I wrote mine on uniformed employees and people's reactions to uniform employees. And this was the beginning days of my interviewing. And I was so fascinated by how on Princeton's campus, the interaction with people who wore uniforms versus those who didn't. So, office workers versus public safety officers versus dining hall workers, maintenance workers. And when you saw someone in a uniform, how did they feel about themselves and how did other people feel about them? And I interviewed people all over campus and talked about this, and being able to talk to dining service workers about how their uniform for them was a sense of pride. I remember one of the interviewees telling me when they went home on the bus and they were wearing their Princeton dining hall uniform, people gave them respect because they're like, wow, you work at Princeton, the #1 university in the world. And that was a form of respect. They may not have had the highest salary, but that respect, that social currency that came with that respect was so important, and they valued that so much. And that paper was really me just diving into my interests and my points of view and how I was seeing the world at the time in this division of class and race, and just trying to understand the world. And that was the only A+ I've ever received on a paper, and it really came from my heart. And so it's just a reminder of creating from the things that are around you will give you, that's the stuff that you need to start experimenting with, the things around you, the problems around you, how you're seeing the world, your point of view. If you're ever neutral, if you're not sure, take what you know and build from that. And wherever you are along this journey, don't discredit the lessons of all that got you to where you are. I say that because I don't often think about my dining hall experiences. When I do, though, I'm able to then reflect on all that I've learned from it. I think the importance of being on time. I think doing things that you don't necessarily like, but understanding it's beyond you. Like, I hated having to carry the pig buckets to the receptacle. Like, it used to make me gag. But you know what? Now as a parent, I'm realizing there are going to be things that make me gag, but guess what? I'm still going to have to do it. Another thing that I want to talk about is take the time to really unravel just how much things have shaped and informed you, and find the lessons within those moments. They are there. I'm telling you, trust me, they are there. And P.S., I never did learn to love the dishes. Like, even to this day, I have my own place now. Like, I hate washing dishes. I don't even have a dishwasher. And washing dishes every day is a drag. But it's not about me learning to love the dishes. It's me learning to love why washing the dishes is important, even if I don't love it. And it's a reminder to you, wherever you are along this journey, there are things in your life that you're going to go through. And when we embrace uncomfortable moments, there comes a grace, and there comes a beauty, and there comes a power within you. There grows a power within you. And that's the power of resilience. That's the power of audacity. That's the power of fighting doubt and fear. That's the power of building that inner confidence. It comes with experience. It comes with dedication, but it comes with knowing there's a lesson in everything. And you are in the driver's seat of your life. I hope that you all enjoyed this lesson here today, this dream driver, this driver's ed episode, where I'm just reflecting on these moments in my life, but they were big ones. And I never did go back to the dining hall. Once I was able to get out, I said, see you later. And my next step after the dining hall was working at Princeton Career Services. I worked there did I work there my freshman year? I don't remember. I think I did work there my freshman year. And that was like my second job on campus, which is another thing of me being a hustler. But having that dining hall job, I always remember it. And now that I think about it, it brings smiles to my eye. I'm saying bring smiles to my eyes. It brings a smile to my face whenever I think about it. And I love to know, was there a moment for you, or there probably is a moment for you along your life, like, whether it was a mall job, working at, Foot Locker. I remember one of our past guests, Kia Store, talked about working at Foot Locker, but it was actually a coworker at Foot Locker that kind of set her or inspired within her this awareness that she was dope, right? And there's so many moments for all of us. Like, I have a friend who used to work at ShopRite in high school, and to this day, she hated working there, but she learned so much working there. So even if you're in a job right now that you don't enjoy it, I'm telling you, there's something that you can learn from it. And when you're able to look at things as like not always having to like everything, but always be willing to learn and to take the lessons, there's so much that you'll be able to grow and do. All right, Dream Drivers, thank you again for listening to this episode of Dreams and Drive. If you enjoyed it, number one, share it with a friend. Instagram this, put it on TikTok, put it on Facebook, text it to someone. I really love when you all are sharing these episodes. We are still here. I'm still fighting. Y'all gonna see me on the big screens one day or bigger podcast screens one day doing these things. I'm not giving up, and you shouldn't either on yourself. Please make sure that you're following us on all the social medias. We are at Dreams and Drive. And if you want to join our email community, just go to dreamsanddrive.com/join. That's dreamsanddrive.com/join. All right, keep dreaming, keep driving, and we'll chat again in the next episode. Bye, guys.